Bob Dylan shocked his fans in 1979. Between songs at a concert, he stopped playing and started preaching. Then he named names. He called out one band. Specifically, he said they sold their soul for entertainment. This wasn't just about music anymore. Dylan had become a born-again Christian, and he believed rock bands were dragging kids to hell. The man who rebelled against everything was now condemning rebellion itself. 4. Someone who built his career on breaking rules. This attack revealed a side of villain nobody expected. Bob Dylan was born Robert Allen Zimmerman on May 24, 1941, in a small hospital in Duluth, Minnesota, weighing 7 pounds and 13 he came into the world with a name few would ever associate with fame. But before he became Bob Dylan, the legend, he was a quiet boy from a tight-knit Jewish family trying to hold on to their roots in a land that never fully welcomed them. His Hebrew name was Shabtai Zissel ben Abraham. That meant something. Shabbai for the Sabbath. Zissel meaning sweet. His father Abe came from a line of Jewish immigrants who had escaped the violence of Odessa, Russia. In Duluth, they kept kosher, went to the synagogue, and sent young Robert to Hebrew school. He spent summers at Camp Hersel in Wisconsin, where he first played the harmonica and guitar with other Jewish kids. His bar mitzvah in 1954 wasn't just big, it was legendary. 400 guests showed up in tiny Hibbing. Since the town didn't have a rabbi, they brought one in from Brooklyn. Dylan later said the rabbi seemed like a ghost. He came, did the job, and vanished. Then polio struck. In 1947, when Dylan was just 6, Abe Zimmerman's life changed forever. He'd been an athlete, a man who loved sports. But polio left him with a limp and constant pain. He couldn't keep working for Standard Oil in Duluth. The family packed up and moved 86 miles northwest to Hibbing, a mining town scarred by the open pit iron mines that swallowed up the landscape. There, Abe and his brothers opened a furniture and appliance store. It was gritty. It was working ass. And it became Dylan's new world. Inside their home on 7th Avenue East, a blue stucco house with a red door, Dylan discovered the radio. In the 1940s, there was no TV, just sound waves and static. That's when he heard Hank Williams. Not just the hits, it was Williams's alter ego, Luke the Drifter, that hit Dylan hardest. Moral tales, spoken word, grit. He played that record over and over. It went through me like an electric rod, he said. Williams died in 1953. Dylan was 11, but that voice never left him. He said he could drift away for hours, convinced in the goodness of man. By high school, Dylan was already trying on different skins. He joined garage bands and called himself Gun, sometimes with 2 N's, sometimes 3. He liked the sound of Robert Allen, but it felt too normal. After hearing jazz singer David Allen, he toyed with spelling his name Allen instead. Then he found Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet. That clicked. Robert Dylan. Bob Dylan. The name rolled off his tongue by instinct. He didn't plan it. Someone asked his name one night, and it just came out. Bob Dylan. Later in 1962, he made it official. But the truth he told the world was often a lie. Dylan liked to say he was an orphan, that he had no ties, that he rode the rails and lived off scraps. But his family had money. Not extravagant wealth, but enough. The furniture store in Hibbing made them respected. His dad was president of the local B'nai B'rith. His mother led the local Hadassah. Their house was solid. Their names known. This background didn't fit the image Dylan wanted, so he erased it. He needed to be a wanderer, a mystery. In 1960, he dropped out of the University of Minnesota after just 1 year. He didn't leave to chase fame. He left to find a dying man. Woody Guthrie, his hero, was wasting away from Huntington's disease. In a New Jersey psychiatric hospital, Dylan made a pilgrimage. He visited Guthrie at Greystone Hospital just to sit near him. He watched his idol tremble, struggling to speak. To Dylan, this was holy ground. He later wrote that Guthrie's songs held the infinite sweep of humanity. Guthrie didn't just write music. He carried America's soul. Dylan wanted to be that vessel. He landed in New York on January 24, 1961. With nothing but a guitar, a harmonica, and blind hope. That first night he barged into Café Wa and asked to play. Snow still clung to his shoulders. He sang Guthrie songs to a near-empty room. He slept on couches. He was cold. He was broke. He sent letters back home saying he had nothing, but he kept playing. Hootenanny's basement coffee shops. He made the rounds in the village. His clothes were ragged, but people saw something raw and real. Then on September 29, 1961, a review changed everything. Robert Shelton of the New York Times saw Dylan perform at Gertie's Folk City. Dylan was opening for a bluegrass band, the Greenbrier Boys. But Shelton's review wasn't just positive. It was glowing. He called Dylan one of the most distinctive stylists to hit Manhattan in months. That single review caught fire. Within days, John Hammond at Columbia Records signed him. But not everyone at Columbia was convinced. When Hammond brought Dylan in on October 26, 1961, the label laughed. They called it Hammond's folly. One executive even said Dylan's music was the worst thing he'd ever heard. Hammond defended him. He said Dylan wasn't polished, wasn't a good singer, or even a good guitarist. But he was different. Hammond believed Dylan could reach a lost generation. He just wanted the studio to capture who Dylan really was. The first album nearly proved everyone else right. Bob Dylan, his debut, came out on March 19, 1962. It flopped. Recorded in just 2 short sessions, it cost about $42 to make. Dylan only had 2 original songs on it. The rest were old folk and blues standards. He refused to do second takes. He hissed into the mic, wandered off pitch, and popped every P. Hammond was frustrated. Dylan hated the final cut. It sold just 5,000 copies in the first year. Some say only 2,500. He was crushed. The label was humiliated. Dylan even considered quitting music. Bob Dylan wrote, "The times they are a-changing,